Does my voice sound raspy? I think it sounds a little bit raspy still. I picked up a cold this weekend. So we got to talk about what causes disease. That's what we're going to talk about in today's video. Hi, this is Andrea Schulman again. And in today's quick law of attraction video, we're going to talk about what causes disease. But first, if you're watching this video on YouTube, please make sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications because I do put out new law of attraction videos like this one every single week. All right, but let's go ahead and talk about this, what causes disease through the law of attraction question. And like I said, I got a cold this weekend and I was kind of bummed about it because I'd gotten myself to the point where I really didn't get sick too often. I went for like a whole year and a half with nothing. But I got a cold this weekend and I really wanted to talk about disease and what it does, why it happens, and actually how you can use it for your benefit. So if you have some kind of a disease, good news, there's something here for you. So the thing to understand about disease isn't something that happens to you. Disease is something that happens through you. And that's a really important thing to understand. Now, before I knew about this, before I knew about the law of attraction, and in fact, I knew about the law of attraction for a while before I figured this one out, I kind of felt like my body was its own entity and it was kind of doing its own thing. And it got sick, kind of its own volition, like it got sick or somebody else got it sick or some outside influence impacted it. But in learning about the law of attraction more and more, really come to understand that everything that's going on in your body is symbolic of what's going on in your mind. And that what we are is we are consciousness. Really, at the end of the day, that's what we are. We are consciousness. And this entire reality that we're hanging out with is simply a symbolic representation of the mental images, the mental thoughts that we're carrying. Now, how does this relate to disease? Okay. Disease is very symbolic. And so when you get something like a cold, which isn't that big of a deal, okay, you may have a much more substantial illness, right? Something that is a lot more dire than, a little frog in your throat, okay? But any disease is a symbol. It is a symbol to some kind of mental representation of your consciousness. And so if you are experiencing disease, whether it's severe or not so severe, it is an excellent learning opportunity to enhance the quality of your life. And so what I found is that if there is some kind of fear or distress that is going on upstairs, it can become projected outwards in a disease, in an injury, or in an illness. And so I just want to kind of walk you through this cold that I've had to kind of show you how this works. I'm filming this video on Wednesday, the 8th of May. Okay, but on Saturday, May 4th, oh my God, I lost my voice. It was gone. On the 4th, oh my Lord, it was like all I could get out was a squeak. That was it. All I could do was squeak. I couldn't talk. I couldn't meet with clients. I couldn't make a video. I was just, oh my goodness. It was craziness. It was absolute craziness. And knowing what I know now about the law of attraction, if something like that happens, I always kind of want to ask myself, okay, what was going on up here that projected that into my body? And for me, it was really pretty obvious because the 4th of May was the new moon. And I don't think I've talked about this on this channel. Maybe I have. I don't think I have. But one of the things that I like to do is when the new moon comes, I like to set a few intentions for my work. So the work that I do here, some new projects or some fun little things that I want to do. And so I'll just set the intention on the new moon and kind of begin working on it. And by the time the moon cycle is complete, I usually have something really cool. Well, this month I'm moving, and I've talked about this before on my channel, but I have got a whole house to pack up. I got a lot going on. And when I sat down to write my new moon intentions, and I was thinking about them a few days before the new moon, one of the passing thoughts that was in my head was, well, you're kind of busy to be taking on these projects, but I'm like, it's okay. I always do it for business. I'm always going to do it. So what happened? That fear, that little latent worry that I was going to be overstressed, it was going to be too much work, symbolically came out in a particular disease. What kind of disease? A disease that completely debilitated my ability to work. And so that's something to really understand is you want to think about your disease. What does it represent to you? What does the body part being affected represent to you? And is there anything that you can do to work with that to alleviate whatever that tension is? So for me, I knew that it was that I was taking on too much work. That's why my body was showing me too much work, too much work. So what I did is I always kind of write down my new moon intentions. I don't know, maybe you can see this or not, but I had some new moon intentions. And once I figured this out, I just went and crossed them out and wrote underneath it, move. That's all you got to do, move. You don't need to do anything else. And when I did this, my voice started to come back. Okay. And here's the thing, any disease is going to have symbolism like that. And so it doesn't really matter what it is. If you're dealing with a particular illness or injury, you might really want to look at Louise Hay's work. I know she wrote a book called You Can Heal Your Life. There's a lot of symbology in there. There's lots of people actually that have come up with symbology for different kinds of illnesses and injuries, and it can be very useful for you to kind of look at that material. But what I would say, and I'll throw this in as a caveat, is that the symbolism of your injury or illness is really going to be very personal. So you always want to kind of ask yourself, what does this represent to me? What fear, what strain, what stress is causing this disease, is causing this illness? And if you can figure out what it is and be nicer to yourself in that area or love yourself more in that area, whatever is being called to do, what you'll find is that the pressure of the disease goes away and your body can be healed. Now, if you like this video, you might like another video that I created a while back on what causes pain. And it gives a little bit more information on this topic, a little bit more expanded information. So if you'd like to watch that video now, please go ahead and look in the description for a link to watch that video now. And then finally, if you haven't yet taken my Law of Attraction test, I would love to invite you to take that Law of Attraction test now. And again, there should be a link for that as well in the description. Thanks so much for watching today's video on what causes disease, and have a great day. Bye-bye.